Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and I'm just waiting on my videos to load that I just made about how to make this right here. And if you haven't watched that, that's pretty cool. But while they're loading, I thought I'm going to make another video on how to make a cake topper for the same person. This is really easy, and I think it's a lot of fun. And this particular one came out really good, and I think it's going to be strong because I was able to incorporate the stick of the cake topper in two of the letters and give it a little more stability. I would maybe knock off this corner, but it doesn't really matter. So we brought in our text, and it's virtually the same as the text in the previous one. I'm going to go Control K, and I'm going to break my text apart. I'm going to change my nudge distance to 0.005, and I'm going to nudge this over till it's pretty close. Then I'm going to nudge this over till it's pretty close. And of course, this would all depend on your customer and how they feel about it. But this came out really good. So we're going to select all this, and we're going to left click, right click to get hairlines. And as I said in the previous video, you could weld this after you've converted it to a curve. But a lot of times your inner pieces will disappear, and that time it didn't. But it really didn't help us in this case because of the fact we've still got these lines. So the virtual segment delete key is going to help you get rid of these lines. And also this S is not connected that I did not notice. I'm going to have to break the curve apart. Now I can take my S and I'm just going to move it over a little bit. Just has to be enough to connect it. Let's zoom in here, virtual segment delete key, and delete these two lines. Now the R is pretty close. Whoop, grab my zoom tool. And you could do a lot here, to your imagination. Maybe get a little bit closer. Well, I didn't grab my R because I remember I broke it apart. I need to grab my R and get it a little bit closer. You don't want it too much. You still want to be able to read it. But since it's now a curve, you could take these two nodes and just move them over and then maybe delete that node and delete that node and maybe delete that node and make it look a little better. And that's good enough. Then take your virtual segment delete key and delete that. Now on the and the M, just whatever you think will look the best. I'm going to try to select those four nodes, and I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. Then take your virtual segment delete key and delete that. Now you're pretty much done with that. We can take our Smart Fill tool now to see if we have any leaks, and we don't. And that looks pretty good. There's a lot you could do with it. You could, make the and smaller. Well, let's left click, right click. And I have made quite a few cake toppers, and you need at least a 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to make this 0.33. I'm going to make it 12 inches long, and that's good enough for a cake topper. Now we haven't done the Boyd yet, the last name. So we're going to bring it in, and I'm going to go ahead and left click, right click. And in this particular case, it just ended up working out perfectly to match up with some of the letters. We'll go with that right there this time. Now I need to do the same thing to the Boyd. I need to make sure it's a curve. Go up to your virtual segment delete key and delete these lines. You do not need, let's zoom in here. And also, if you notice, my lines are thicker, so you need to go up here and make sure this is a hairline. Evidently, my Smart Fill tool fills it in thicker than a hairline, and I do not know why that's leaking. So if you ever have a leak right there, it's because these aren't touching. So take your node and just put it past your line. Take your virtual segment delete key and delete that. And then you can delete that part that's past. That's pretty good. Go ahead and delete these lines. And this is why you converted it to a curve, so you could delete these lines. And at the same time, you could have already put your stick on, but there's really no reason or hurry to. Now we'll double check with the Smart Fill tool, and if you see my Smart Fill is put on at 0.5, we need to change this to a hairline and Smart Fill it, and then get that out of the way. Sometimes when you still have your Smart Fill, it'll do that. So there, now we got a left click, right click, and now we have a completed object. We can delete this now. Now we're going to take our stick, and just so happened it worked out very nicely that it's going to hit 2 letters. Now yours might not work out this nicely, but we could make that rounder at this time. We could round off the corner a little bit from the first of the video. Let's zoom in here a little bit. You want it kind of in the middle, so you can take it and just put it like right there. Use your virtual segment delete key and delete those lines. Now one more time, Smart Fill tool, one of my favorite tools. We're going to fill that in. Left click, right click, and you'll see it's a hairline, so it's ready to go. That's ready to cut out. This would be strong enough because it's got 2 points here connected, one big one there, and 2 here. So this ought to work for your plywood. If you make a cake topper out of plywood, or even a solid wood, it's a little bit wide for solid wood being 9 inches, but your same plywood would work for that. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.